To parse through the most crucial moments of the trading day. 44, guys. 44 potential record closes, Katie.
Alex, I'm glad you say that because we were debating that earlier, how many record closes there's
It's
been.
probably 44, but
Alex said that.
Is it really the most crucial moment? Because Katie and I feel like the Open is a pretty crucial moment.
Well,
you're biased.
In terms
of... you can't come on this show and trash the time of this show, bro, okay? Or else we're coming on yours.
No, we would love that.
You're welcome. You're invited.
Be a little crowded at the desk, all five of us, but, we can link arms and hug. Anyway, you take a look at the S&P 500. Looks like we're going to close at session highs. I mean, what a volatile week it's been already, and it's only Wednesday and we haven't even gotten to CPI yet.
Yeah, after all these overhangs over the market, these macro issues, it's hard to believe we're at record highs. It's not just for the S&P. Alex pointed out the Dow is also at a record high as well, and all this on fairly light volume. I know. I just had to throw it in there.
We can do it. It's okay. Pharaoh's not here. Go ahead.
I like to talk about the Dow Jones Industrial Average.
You, Matt
Katie
Miller.
only cares about the Russell 2000,
I had to disabuse
which is also
Matt of
up by a little bit. But yeah, it is the bigger stocks, the bigger tech stocks that are pushing us higher. And I want to point out, it's the fifth week. I mean, it's only Wednesday, right?
Right.
But it could be the fifth week in a row of gains for this market.
And you're giving up the lead. It's the mid caps again at one point hitting a record high today. Not closing there, but hitting it. All right, there are the closing bells for this Wednesday. We are still settling out, but you're looking at an S&P up by about 0.7%. You got the NASDAQ up by 0.6%, and the Dow, I'm saying it, is up by over 1% as we kind of close right around here, guys, at the highs of the session, Katie.
Yeah, there you have it. And pretty good breadth, too. If you take a look under the hood, you had 377 stocks finish in the green on the S&P 500, 124 in the red, Scarlet.
All right, let's take a look at the sector performances as well, because a lot of green on that screen. And the best performing group, surprisingly, is not technology. It's healthcare, up by more than 1%. Pfizer leading the charge there. But tech is certainly second, coming in higher by 1% as well. And industrials gaining about 0.9%. Among your laggards, utilities losing 0.9%, and communication services, I think that's really Alphabet there, putting a drag on the market, off by 0.5%.
All right, well, let's get to some of the specific gainers right now. And I wanted to start with cruises. You have a lot of action there. Of course, Norwegian Cruise leading the way with a nearly 11% gain today. That's after Citi came out and said, buy this stock, upgrading the stock to buy from neutral, saying that growth into 2025 and beyond has, quote, real legs. You can see that's also helping out some of its peers as well. I threw Carnival up as well. Carnival finishing about 7% higher. And then, Scarlett, you mentioned Pfizer, so let's go there right now because Pfizer, really interesting day. Of course, the reporting came out a few days ago that activist Starboard Value took a $1 billion stake in Pfizer. And then news breaking today, this is according to the Financial Times, citing people familiar with the matter, that Pfizer CEO Albert Bourla plans to meet with Starboard Value, of course. And the market's taking that as good news. Pfizer up about 3.5%, Matt.
All right, I've got some of the losers here. Two of the biggest stories of the day are losers, right? Google is one of them after we learned that the Justice Department has actually told a federal judge it's considering recommending that Google be forced to sell off parts of its business. Of course, we've already been reporting this. It's obvious. It's one of the big options here, and we're not going to find out what actually happens until August of next year. But it doesn't stop investors from selling this stock today. They're doing that. Boeing also said that it's withdrawing its offer to striking union workers after negotiations collapsed. The strike has now been going on for a month. JP Morgan says it costs $1.5 billion a month if they continue the strike. And they've already burnt through, I think, $8.2 billion in the first half. They're burning cash at a surprising rate. This really hurts. S&P Global warned that they may cut the plane makers' credit ratings to junk. We also see Constellation, the nuclear energy operator, down. NRG, another energy company, is down. I can't figure out exactly why. I'm going to say bond yields rise. Alix Steel, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. Is that a problem for these? utilities?
No, it's such a good point. I was wondering the exact same thing. 'Cause it was Vistra, Constellation, and NRG were the worst performing stocks within the S&P, and I also couldn't figure out why, because I think Guggenheim actually had a price target increase over Constellation.
That's true.
So maybe you're right. Maybe it's higher bond yields, and you're using that as a dividend proxy, but they've been trading as an AI proxy, right? So it's kind of tricky.
All right, so maybe someone can, just email me and tell me if you know why.
IBU.
Then, or IB, wow, the kids are IBing. Okay, and then Byrna Technologies. I thought this was interesting. A company that makes self-defense sprays and armor designed to be inserted into backpacks. It tumbled the most since 2020 after it missed profit, even though it got Mike Huckabee as like a celebrity endorser. I guess he's wearing bulletproof backpacks and using pepper projectiles to stun would-be assailants.
I don't really know what to say about that, but okay. Let's go to bond yields. So if we take Constellation Energy as a bond yield move, that's what we saw. Bond yields continually moving higher here all across the curve. 2-year yield up 6 basis points. We had a 10-year auction today. It was meh. Same thing as the 3-year. Tomorrow we get the 30-year. We get $22 billion worth. We're also above that 100-day moving average, guys, for the 10-year yield. We have a bit of way to go if we get to the 200-day, but nevertheless, technically, you've seen a lot of momentum in that higher bond market.
Yeah, it's been really fascinating to watch this sell-off and now just hovering around 4% on the 10-year yield. It's going to be interesting to see which way is up, which way is down. But let's get to some other stories. There's some interesting ones. I'm going to take us to crypto. I don't know. I'm a little tired of crypto. But anyway,
but there's new developments, right?
There is a new development. Well, there's kind of
new developments in crypto. Does it combine with ETF at all?
No, unfortunately it doesn't. But one of the biggest mysteries out there in the world that's still remaining is who Satoshi is. Of course, the creator of Bitcoin. And the new development is that we still don't know who that is because software developer Peter Todd said that he is not Satoshi. HBO had put out a documentary that suggested that he is. But Peter Todd, we've now heard from the man himself saying, I am not Satoshi. I did not invent Bitcoin.
All right, I'm just going to jump in here really quickly because we did get some earnings from Applied Digital. It's the digital infrastructure company. First quarter revenue topping analyst estimates, $60.7 million. Analysts were looking for just under $55 million. And first quarter adjusted loss was 15 cents a share. You could see the stock moving up in after hours trading by almost 10%.
All right, so taking a look at that. Okay, here's my question, though. Back to Katie's story.
Yeah.
Why do we care who invented Bitcoin?
Oh, I definitely care.
I definitely
community
care, too.
cares.
But why? But literally, why? Are you going to invest less or more because of it? No, it's its own asset class now.
So the thing is, I don't care as an investor, just as a human, Alex.
It's a mystery. We want to know because we're curious people. And he's so rich.
Yeah.
Satoshi has so many Bitcoin. But I don't think it's like selling drugs to a cop. You don't have to say if you're Satoshi, right? I mean,
no, I don't think you do. But
No.
it's interesting. Having the Bitcoin in his wallet not moved, and that's part of the reason why we don't know who he is.
Yeah, but each one is now worth $62,000
Satoshi,
compared to zero when he invented it.
If you're still with us, you're a very wealthy man, and we would love to know who you are.
He holds around 1 million Bitcoin.
That's so many.
I mean, yeah.
It's a lot of a, limited commodity or currency.
Sounds like $62 billion.
Yeah.
Is that?
You know what?
math,
He probably needs a lot of money if he's going to go to Disneyland because Disneyland has hiked its prices, once again, ticket prices. This is Disneyland in California, not Disney World in Florida. But the most expensive tickets, which are, of course, weekends and holidays, are now going up 6% to $206 a day. The lowest priced admission, which is mainly 15 days in January and February, is going to stay unchanged at $104. So the lowest price is $104.
And that's just to walk in. And then if you want the fast pass, if you want food, if it rains, you need a poncho, which apparently are $15, as I learned from Paul Sweeney when he went to Disney World on Sunday.
Wow.
Yeah. Things like that. You have a wristband, you just tap it, and all of a sudden that credit card comes due. I mean, my gosh.
I'm having a hard time picturing Paul Sweeney at Disneyland.
By the way, Sweeney goes to Disney World for free.
No, he does not. He paid for those tickets.
Really?
Yes.
I thought he goes on junkets with Bob Iger.
He did, but this one he was going for fun with somebody else.
Disney World, probably worth it. Compared to Disneyland, I think not worth it.
Well, Disneyland has California Adventure, right? That's like the specialty thing that they have at their parks that Florida doesn't have. Florida has the Star Wars thing, right?
Yes, and it has Space
Epcot.
Mountain, which is, the coolest thing.
California has Space
But
Mountain too.
Does it? I don't know. I've never been to the California.
I think so.
I'm
yeah.
learning a lot here. I didn't know this.
We were talking to Geetha Ranganathan of Bloomberg Intelligence earlier, though. Speaking of Disneyland / Disney World, Disney World is losing $50 million a day every day it remains closed.
That's wild.
That's a lot of money, and the parks business for Disney makes up a huge percent of their operating profit.
Yeah.
It's like 2/3. It's incredible.
Well,
Alex,
that's why they have to raise prices in California. By the way, the new price increases take effect immediately.